Bonjour. How y'all doing? Yes, it is I, live in the flesh. It's not a big deal. Like, wow, I'm not wearing a shirt. Guess what? I didn't wear a shirt for the first hour at my work, kind of like the manager, the owner of the place does. And for the last hour and a half towards the end of work, I rolled out of bed like this and rolled on my bike to work like this, you know? After doing a lot of work at home, it's like work, 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 networking, and all these things. C'est la vie. And it has paid off. And I'm in such a wonderful network, being the One Great Work Network, and having a good amount of friends that I've met in real life that are on there. Shout outs to Leslie Powers, Chris Jansen, Mario West, and Brandon Spencer. I feel like I'm missing someone, but I had Dorian Greens out here in France. A beautiful thing. And she's going to be presenting a new interpretive, provocative dance video for our Sound Path to Freedom, which I might as well pop that up real quick. Why does it do this? Give me that classic one, yeah. And lineup is looking juicy, yo. Watch out. But yeah, so what I'm going to be showing right now is the Freedom Under Natural Law presentation that I submitted last February, actually. And people might look at the title like, oh, AI, like, what's there to know about it that we already do not know? And that's been kind of shoved down our throats. I'm talking about more the occulted information in history behind the esoteric information regarding AI, even. It's why we're cut off from source, if you will, and things like that. Although, these archons, they're master geneticists as well. So, that DNA manipulation from back in the day and all that stuff. And they held it into certain sound song frequencies to keep us trapped into like this 2-strand DNA with all this dormant shit on the side. All right. I'll get into this a little bit. I wanted to speak about it more, but I only had like 33 minutes to put this thing together, and I actually like sped out my voice a little bit just to like cram as much into it. And in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do an extended version, like a 3-hour type of thing. And I'm maybe halfway there. More than halfway, but it's been on the back burner and a little too long. I kind of cooled off. But yeah, anyways, y'all want to check this out? How y'all doing out there? So we're going into acronyms in regarding AI and what humanity needs to align with and be aware of and not participate in as much. And I'm not talking about motherfucking chat GPT and that's like, it's not even like the AI type of stuff that I'm even like thinking about in regards to like the Máquina Muerte, as I like to call it, death machine in Spanish. So anyways, buckle up. It's gonna be a good one. It's time to rise. It's time to rise. It's time to rise. Rise up, rise up, rise up.
As Derek so beautifully likes to achieve, slipping out rhymes just coming out of his sleeve. They're popping off the walls and they're hitting us all and it's a wonderful place to be with people that are so adept lyrically. So that was a little fresh performance because we're about to hear from Derek Bartoluccelli, um, the creator of Awaken Your Mind channel, which people don't know goes back more than 10 years. He's been putting out hip hop mixes infused with natural law, truth, and freedom messages all day long, all week long. Derek has been putting out just an immense amount of work in the last couple of years, especially streams running all the time. Every channel you look at, anyone that's talking about natural law, Derek's showing up all hours of the night. He wakes up. He's been a faithful member of the One Great Work Warriors for the last 2 years. And for him working from France, that means he gets up at like 3 a.m. to join us. And he's just a warrior, a true warrior in this in this project that we're doing of the One Great Work. So I have so much thanks for Derek, and he's been helping me a lot with not only my show, the podcast, making his little cool beginning and ending mixes, but preparing for this very conference. A lot of the cool little ads you've seen, and that Europa Natural Law and the fades, that's Derek's cool work. So I really appreciate Derek's work in a lot of ways, and I'm looking forward to checking out his presentation here.
Can I add real fast before you click
Sure.
that over that, I just want to recognize Derek as a wonderful, collaborator in dissolving the divide, and it's been solid and reliable and wonderful. So I want to thank you for that personally, and just thank you for being a really good friend and a great human, making, impressions on my own children, in very positive ways, just from floating in our world for a few days. And just want to validate the integrity and realness of who you are. Yeah.
And we've actually get to meet Derek multiple times in person, thanks to his ability to travel to us, which was incredible and fun, and got to show him, my little Endevo clubhouse here, and we had a lot of fun. So yeah. So Derek's presentation, and I think this is your first like formal presentation, right? Like for a conference.
Yeah, it could have been a lot more formal than what it made out to. I had excuses, and I kind of ran too much. I didn't spend the quality time on what was I needed to emphasize more on, and more on like the caveat type of stuff. But it kind of all unravels and stuff. And I have a extended version, as I mentioned. But yeah, like it's gonna throw you in a roller coaster of emotions and things like that. So yeah. Brace yourselves, and thank you for tuning in.
The two sides of AI humanity needs to know. Let's check it out.
Orbital audio architect, abstract, abnormal, anonymous, obvious, operative threat to the populace, cyber metropolis, got the prescription, but what was the cause of this outbreak? Artificial automated societies now wait. Eager retrievers, consumers believe in the heat of destruction, disorder, dishonor, corruption, capitalized consumption, categorized circumference. You couldn't compute this data, matter of fact. When is this NASA at a master that spitted that abstract attack? Attacking your government staff, coding, chemical carbonation, smoking, cynical suffocation, trapped in a world of abomination. Nobody's safe when the mobs are waiting to chaos. What are they on? Artificial enhancement, intoxicated by static, the murder within the madness.
Greetings, bonjour. This is Derek Bartoluccelli. I have several platforms I'm on that I've been doing work for about a dozen years. Under the moniker Awaken Your Mind, I've been doing truth-infused, conscious hip-hop and other music genre mixes. Kind of like soundtracks to awakenings and expanded consciousness and that kind of stuff. And overall, just like good vibes and things that we need to be concerned about and looking for solutions towards and all that good shit. I also have a solution-oriented podcast called Dissolving the Divide with Leslie Powers, actually. And I am also affiliated with groups such as the One Great Work Warriors, hosted by Chris Jensen. Not hosted by, but he's at the helm, who created that. And I'm also part of groups such as Europa Natural Law, Le Francophone Connection, with Fred Gongra, the Libercast, and some other folks in the One Great Work Network. You can also find some of my works on there because I've collaborated with a couple dozen of the content creators there. And yeah, I also have a website called nattylaw.com. It showcases some of my music mixes, and I have a music section about artists and albums that are aligned to natural law. And we go into the Hermetica and other things that, touch upon these sciences of life.
I be a universal traveler, false truth unraveler.
So let's get this straight out the way. What does humanity really need to know in regards to AI? It's artificial intellect. There's no intelligence in there. There's no generative principle, all right? And that's the acronym that I'm going to be talking down upon, and, just trying to hammer the idea and possible verbal practice for people to refrain from using the word or intelligence in regards to AI, and switch it with something that I'll speak from my own experience a little bit in regards to being an activated individual, having an activated intuition, if you will, as well. To really have that activated intelligence from the heart core center is what is really going to ignite the true awakening, I feel. And even sometimes, like, people are awake to what exactly? Like, people have expanded their awareness and this and that, but are they really awakened within themselves? That's the heart of the matter that I'm going to bring forth with this. And I'm going to be speaking from experience because I've had a type of heart explosive awakening myself. It's like a frequency shift. Like the universe literally was zapped me. That's how I felt, and I was never the same since then. Okay? So as you can see, I'm in a wonderful, beautiful place. This is the Mediterranean Sea. Les amis, my friends, as the translation goes. And I won't be trying to mingle in a whole bunch of Frenchy words and stuff. And people need to know that I'm not French. I've lived here for 15 years. And, I still get the feeling like people are giving me these stereotypes as if, I'm French and they think I'm some kind of arrogant fucking prick. Like the Merovingian. That stingy man? Remember that guy?
Oh, yes, it is true. The question is, do you know why you are here?
And why, oh why, is that three-letter word that important? Like in the movies, So, yeah, I'm going to be mentioning the Matrix a little bit because it does make sense, and bringing it back to basics in regards to some of this Machina Muerte fuckery with the transhumanist AI agenda shit that they spoke about this, that was like the main crux of why the Matrix was actually fucking made to begin with, Remember that?
We marveled at our own magnificence as we gave birth to AI.
AI? You mean artificial intelligence?
A singular consciousness that spawned an entire race of machines.
Yeah, for folks that don't really know me all that well, that's fine. Just to let you know, I am your Americano Italiano ambassador out here in France, at your door, with raps galore, talking that natural law, holding a fucking full metal Althanor. That's a alchemical furnace.
Envelop you with development kits to help me to embellish the elements, dynamic into intelligence.
As an expat, I've noticed also that people, when they learn a different language, one of the first things they get to learn is like all the curse words. Why? Just like the good old Merv, right?
I have sampled every language. French is my favorite. Fantastic language. Especially to curse with.
I got this, Nom de Dieu de putain de merde, saloperie de enculer ta mère. Mais fuck that shit.
It's like wiping your ass with silk. I love it.
I don't know about all that, and I don't know who the hell has even wiped their ass with silk.
Suck my silky ass thing!
Yeah, that last part, it's like,
Saloperie de connard enculé de ta mère.
I'm not a big fan of that, but, you know, to flip it towards, you know, this Matrix miasma shit, it's like, fuck the inverted feminine womb gate of the Matrix. That's what Matrix means, womb, right? And so they've been birthing this fucking, you know, these overlays in simulacra simulations of things within this reality that is fucking real. We're not living in a fucking simulation, alright? Fuck those fucking theories. Let's keep it fucking real and right. Are you righteous? Are you lying to natural law and all that shit, right? Universal morality. Oh, and by the way, doing this video was quite challenging, to say the least. Even just boiling down everything I wanted to say into 30 minutes. Yeah. With that being said, I have spent a couple years and many hours researching and making videos in regards to the whole transhumanist takeover and that kind of stuff. I'm from the Bay Area. I noticed and witnessed the fucking techie town takeover, a la Silicon Valley effect type of shit. Alright? I was disgusted for a long time. That was a catalyst for me to look into these things deeper beneath the surface, especially when you are kind of esoterically astute, if you will, and you are a student of these things, right? Esoteric, occult, hidden information, voila, it's not that complicated, right? Hello, it is quite complicated for a lot of people. I'm just talking about simple words, you know, the definition and etymology of the word occult and esoteric. And hey, guess what? It rhymes with Derek. Oh, and how is your rhetoric as well? Got to build up that grammar and all that shit, filter out the distortions, whatnot. So what is really important is to study the hidden laws of nature and the hidden and dormant aspects within ourselves as well. You know, take it to the law of correspondence, as above so below, as the universe so the soul, which is right here, right? And really understand that none of this machinery, AI, does not fucking possess that. And we have some of these, you know, human transhumanist enthusiasts that that literally having wet dreams over the ideas of being able to transfer their consciousness into some robotic bullshit, whatever the fuck, cybernetic, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? So this has been, you know, stated in countless stories and dystopian fucking movies and whatever the fuck, and like, you know, like, what are we being conditioned to? Accepting and just coexisting with, exactly, and just letting things just roll the fuck out and being complicit towards. You understand how these games are being played on us, right? It's not just for fucking entertainment purposes, and people need to get the fuck over just like being conditioned to be entertained all the fucking time. Think about our ancestors. They didn't have time for that shit. They were trying to learn it and survive. And what are we doing? You know, where are the fucking real men that, you know, are gonna stave off hard times? Because weak men create hard fucking times. And we have a fuck ton of weak ass fucking men that would rather have sex with a fucking robot than an actual fucking woman. And they can't even fucking define what a woman is these days? Fuck that motherfucking bullshit. Alright? We have to anchor in and just keep the humanity as much as fucking possible. Right? Like, what the fuck? It is not that complicated. We have simple genetics as far as, you know, like gender, masculine, feminine, and even understanding the basic 101 aspects and principles of Hermeticism, right? Cosmic law, universal law. And with that said, holy smokes, my tech is a little bit limited. I'm not going to be able to put the same amount of slides as I would because my neighbor's caught fire and I don't have all the electricity and stuff. I've been delayed for over a week with these things, so bear that in mind. I'm sorry this isn't your typical official presentation. I'm not even used to that, by the way, but I really wanted to challenge myself and do that, but here we are, and I just hope you just take these things into account and research them. Don't take my fucking word for it. They need to be confirmed elsewhere as well, right? So raise your hand if you want to see the Draco Decepticon technocratic or techno-monopolistic, algorithmic, transhumanist, nano-cybernetic, AI, robot, techie takeover with genetically modified humans. Anyone? You in the back, put your fucking hand the fuck down. The hell are you thinking?
Cyber sludge, mechanized slaves, social engineering, weather modification, and high frequency waves. That's right. Cyber sludge, mechanized slaves, social engineering, weather modification, and high frequency waves. That's right.
Oh, hey there. Let's get this word out of our vocabulary when it comes to artificial intelligence. When you break down the word, nothing artificial has proper intelligence. We're talking about the generative principle, the heart-based intelligence. You know, there needs to be a soul behind the intelligence for it, in order for it to have intelligence. So if there's any kind of inorganic entity or machinery or whatever the fuck that is void or absent of a soul, that generative principle, then guess what? It's not fucking intelligent. It's not like I'm going to be out on the streets arguing with people because, oh, you're saying artificial intelligence, don't you know, this and that. But it does bring up a good opportunity to use your art of persuasion to let them think about something in a different way and take it back to themselves and their heart's core intelligence that may be lacking within themselves, or it might not be fully fucking ignited or not at all type of shit, you know what I mean? So everyone is on different levels of wherever the fuck they're at. And I'm on a ton of levels in regards to wordplay. And just, you know, it's my way of kind of breaking down this fucking notion of artificial intelligence, like, oh, like, it's the best thing since sliced fucking bread or whatever the fuck, or, you know what I mean? Or, and we still don't have flying cars, wow. But let's have a little word association with acronyms that start with AI, right? And it still applies to artificial intellect, you know? So follow me on this one. You know what rhymes with AI? Great lie. Artificial intellect. Amalgamated intel, arcane ignorance, algorithmic indecency, android incest, advanced imitations, amplified idiocracy, androgyny increased, announcing Ishvet, contrary to Mayat, archons inside, aggravated iconoclasts, aggressive inclusivity, assimilated insanity, automated inventions, audacious immorality, animosity insufferable, agent infliction, alien invasion, assumptive iterations, ambiguous inertia. And the 2045 project and all this stuff. Like, why are people obsessed with the fucking transhumanist bullshit, you know? It comes from a place of fucking fear. And this ties into the more controversial things in regards to off-world AI and kind of like where it originates from, and some of the technology that they've unleashed into our realm that's had it on lockdown, and it's distorted the harmonics, the mathematics, you know, like codes of creation, and it, you know, ties into the Metatronic reversals. You know, it's quote-unquote sacred geometry, even the Fibonacci, or fib of no chi. And you can take it to the clip-off, or the, you know, circumcised Kabbalistic tree, which is not symmetrical, and it's like base 10 mathematics. And yeah, I was wondering why, you know, before my awakening, you know, like really, like, it hurt my soul, dwelling on this, of why humans on average, whatever, you know, hear this growing up of, we're only, you know, using like 10% of our brain, or optimally whatever the fuck, and you know, only have 2-strand DNA, and there's all this dormant stuff when we could be 12-strand. So those are like, that's another 10%. So what is up with this base 10 mathematics that's, you know, limiting our lifespan and overall
kinetic energy and connection to source and our own life force energy, right? We have to take it back to like Hyperboreans, where we were all breatharian and that kind of stuff. And I've heard people say things that, you know, like it's indicative being in a fallen time matrix when there are people consuming other life forms just to sustain their own life force energy. You know, we're supposed to have that eternal flower life lotus, you know, that self-perpetuating life force energy oscillating within us, you know, and that's like activating the heart more and more and more, right? Or like Mario West likes to say, you know, open it up wider and wider and wider still, like for fucking real. So going back to the AI stuff, it's just becoming more prevalent in very insidious ways, and it's not what people think it is in regards to just like chat GPT and you know image generator, video generated shit, you know. And I know it's still in the early stages and it still kind of sucks, right? Depending on what program people are fucking using, right? There's like the cheap stuff and the high grade stuff. And have you guys even, you know, asked yourselves why, you know, there's plenty of companies investing millions or billions of dollars into this tech and they're offering certain things for free? You know what I mean? So think about that, and always keep in mind the parasitic modus operandi and how they function of them siphoning our life force energy, and they're using the simulacra simulation tactics and just kind of harvesting our ideas and stuff and maybe twisting them or using them and this and that. You could take to Hollywood, and you know they have stacks of stories that they could pull from that they took from, you know, these aspiring writers that wanted to have their writings and screenplays, you know, become a movie, and they didn't get to see the light of day yet. You know, those ideas are still there. You know, check out the interviews of Tom Althouse. I had him on with Zerlath Immortal and Mario West, actually. But yeah, we have to look at some of these equations, right? Did they take zero out of it? You know, zero, the sacred cosmic womb, if you will. Gununagap, it's also referenced as, or and think about that, you know, with the world card and the tarot, possibly. And these are the things that Seth Exposa has been speaking about for years. So please check out his works on Black Earth Productions. And as I mentioned briefly and alluded to, a discussion he had with Nate Max and George Kavasilis, yeah, they tied in so much together, including, you know, the Flat Earth PSYOP, okay? And some of the distortions with the harmonics and all that shit. Including our the overlays of our chakra system and that kind of stuff. We have to break free from these seals, and so we can really have our hearts open and activated, right?
With that being said, you know, I'm still very much a student, not quite a teacher. You know, unlike Sethicus, who, you know, I've been initiated into his school and I've benefited greatly from it. And I wish I knew about this a long time ago. I mean, it's 2025. It's been a couple of years since I've been in correspondence, but yeah, 2012 is quite a long time from my initial awakening, you know, activations and stuff. And I was kind of misled to some of this new age stuff as well. So yeah, I understand if people are pissed off of like, oh, well, sacred geometry, it's, you know, there's more to it than that. And there's much more to it than what I've briefly shared. It takes hours and years to, you know, understand these things, right? Sethicus was on FUNL 2, the conference a couple of years ago, and he spoke about the betrayal of Thoth, if you will, and how many people followed up on that and actually watched a 7-hour dissertation that is just monumental in my humble opinion. And yeah, it's probably my favorite YouTube channel that I have. You know, I'm subscribed to like over 500, you know. It's tough to get into these things sometimes. Just knowing everything that's, you know, going on right now. So yeah, like to end the artificial intelligence segment of this presentation, stay the fuck away from the needlecraft, the pharmakia fuckery, and geoengineering. So yeah, there's layers upon layers of all this stuff, and we gotta break the fuck away from this stuff. We have to rise up and not fall for these things, right?
Rise up, rise up, rise up.
Let it shine like an amplifier. Open your sight, let it multiply. No inhibition, it's just a vision, releasing your soul and letting it fly. Sonically formed, spiritually warm, lyrically heated and mentally sparked. Bursting the flames of consciousness, transcending the flesh and stoke the heart.
Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up.
All right, so as far as the proper AI being an authentic individual and more or less, in rather more so, an activated individual, you know, I'm just going to speak through my awakening experience, even though, you know, to each their own awakening experience and how that manifests with the specific individual. My story is, you know,
this is always a creative conundrum for me, because I ain't got a whole lot of time to even like scratch well below the surface on what I'm bringing forth. There's going to be a extended version, and instead of kind of going over my fucking awakening process and this and that, I might just throw out a quick few bullet points. But yeah, like I have several videos, interviews that, you know, I go quite deep into. So I'm just going to suggest those, especially and specifically the one I did with Melissa Mary, which was fantastic. And yeah, my heart's grieved over her passing away last year. And yeah.
Rest in peace.
But with that said, I will be doing an extended version of this presentation. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Take the time to check out Awakening Mind, or not. I don't care. What matters, like, I'm not looking for subscribers. What matters is that you subscribe to your fucking self. You know? Get that care activated to do something positive in this world, right? I'm sure, I'm not assuming you're not, but, you know, we could all do more in these troubling times.
so what if I told you that the first eye is right here, the center of your chest? This is the electromagnetic oscillating life force perpetuating liquid crystal seat of the soul, if you will. And operating from there is the best place to be. And you're living more authentically. You're not trying to lie to yourself or fucking other people and all that stuff, right? And so when I had this, you know, awakening, whatever, activations, I just had so much more clarity of thought and emotion and articulation. I felt like something cleared up in my throat chakra there, like a like I hawked a cosmic loogie out there or some shit like that. Alright, I gotta give a little piece to the musical aspects of just life, sound, frequency, vibration, sonic resonance. And I'm thinking about Conrad in regards to sonic, because I think that might be in the title of one of his presentation for this. And Leslie Powers, she'll be talking about music as well, and music ties into the quadrivium. And stemming off of the trivium, I wanted to bounce out a little equilibrium in regards to certain things regarding this reality, and how we need to be a proper, pure instrument, vessel of the higher force, anchored here, right here and fucking now.
All right, so I'm going to need everyone's attentive imagination to follow me on this one, because I got to rifle through real quick. I don't have a whole lot of time, unfortunately. So when we think about objective truth, objective morality, universal law, natural law, cosmic law, all these things, think of that as this, the primordial womb sound song frequency, that vibration, that is what we want to be aligned with, as well as our DNA. And the more we activate our DNA, the more aligned we are to that. And unfortunately, there's been this discord, and I wanted to go into the whole history that makes so much sense in regards to the lore of J.R.R. Tolkien, where he talks about the whole creation of his universe in the Silmarillion and other books outside of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit. But the main thing is that there was a character that was created by the creator that was supposed to be in alignment with singing the songs of creation, but he had a discord with that. He wanted to play God himself. How many stories and instances and even real life can we see that playing out? People just trying to play fucking God, whatever the fuck, fuck that. So they need to get realigned. And we're all supposed to be fine-tuning our own instruments as this bodily vessel, right? And it's kind of like the same as, we're going to be fine-tuning our instruments so they play harmoniously and all these things, yeah? And you could take it to the integrated aspects and essences of divine feminine and masculine, with the masculine being the arrow, the feminine being the bow, and the bow string being that sound song frequency, natural law, truth. So when the arrow is pulled back along the bow, hitting that bowstring, it's all in alignment. Masculine being the intellect, feminine being the intuition, and boom, unity consciousness aligned to natural law. All right, just like a fetus to a child to a mature adult, it's a process, just like awakening and expanded awareness and activations and all these things. I mentioned some things that I've gone through my life, but it's never a fucking one-off, and I've had multiple experiences. So there's a lot to consider, and just to go down the list of ways we can actualize and activate more of our true authentic self. Yeah, y'all can do your DMTs and entheogens and shroomadelic experiences and whatever the fuck, ayahuasca, whatever. But you're going somewhere else and you're coming back. What are you taking with you, and what are you going to be implementing within yourself and sharing with others that are going to be beneficial, right? And those are more of like a one-off things, but yet you can learn and have that as like a life-changing experience. But you have to take it further than that. It's not just about that. You have to tap into here. It's always going back to fucking here. I don't know how much I need to like reiterate that and emphasize it, but this is where the fuck it starts, at the heart. How is your art? Is it official or is it artificial, right? Your art of life, your art of communication, your art of listening, your art of persuasion, all these things, right? And, you can't spell hearts without the arts, nor without the ear. Do you have the inner ear open to properly hear? Hear, heart, earth. What's your connection to all these things? And what are you aligned with? So, yeah, there's like the Kundalini awakening and all that stuff. Yet people have apparently fucking died from this stuff. It's like the serpentine energy going up your spine, this and that. Okay, that's cool. But what about here? Is your first eye open to all that shit? So things to consider with that. So find your fucking catalyst that's really going to light a fire within you to resurrect your fucking soul. Type of shit, all right? And there's like these chakra activations and things you can do to kind of manifest that, whether like just like deep meditation, contemplation, doing your breath work, whatever. But it really goes back to the first cosmic law principle of your state of mind, and and also connected to the heart-based intelligence, the generative principle. These two need to be in alignment. Yeah, it's kind of like the Matrix when the Oracle says, Neo, being the one is kind of like being in love. It is that sound frequency, agape, cosmic love that just emanates from here, and it just keeps you going, right? It's, yeah, you could say neocortex and all that, but it needs to be aligned to this the generative principle. What the fuck you care about, you know? Are you able to inspire yourself? Whether it be from the good stuff or the bad stuff going on in the world, right? So, in conclusion, stay human.
Rise up, rise up, rise up.
Which world am I in? I had a vision of a future life. Activated chakra now, tell me how you're feeling like. A line of murder got an energy that's infinite. Literate, I manifest source with my intuition. In a crystal, see me on a subatomic. Space sacred, I can see the love inside it. Yeah, I said see it's visible to upper logic. Wish I could tell you how I got it, but I stumbled on it. I wonder. Mechanics of the mind, every life form connect the planets in the sky. Enlighten what I'm writing like a phantom when it fly. Watch an apparition vanish in the stand and go by. Man of old time, ancient and Akashic. Knowledge in my head go against the Metatronic. And I won't stop it till the federal demolish. That's progress, never gonna stop it. What I rock and make a fallen angelic change logic. Life comes together when the heart and the brain working together at the same time. One mind. Going deep inside, I'm gonna tell him what I find. I better tell him how to unify the heavenly design. Set him in the drive, forever be divine. I mean, I always will be, see forever in my eyes.
And we're back. You're muted, Leslie. I think I muted you. That's my fault.
Yeah, I just was saying, great job, Derek. It was so creative and entertaining, and I think I like that flowing, natural like style you have. And the most, the important message that you really made clear is how important it is to value being human, and that we have more creative potential and more potential for, a better life, a good life, by being fully human, and that we have so many untapped abilities that we can access if we can align with natural law principles through, and have that overarching care, so that we can be safe enough, and have the opportunity to expand and grow into our full selves, and so, don't lose yourself to AI, don't lose yourself to any relationship, right? Or don't lose yourself to an alien or any other living creature or any non-living creature. Don't lose yourself. I think that's really bottom line here. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I recently went through one of those struggles where I was trying to deal with something over the phone, and you get the answering machine and, trying to tell the person when I finally got him, like, please be human. I'm a human being, just yelling that practically over and over. I'm a human being. Damn it. It's like I really felt the creative vibes, the way you put that together. I really appreciate the creativity, and it's in line with what Conrad was saying with creative, and I've talked about this creative energy before too. So beautiful work there. You want to say a few words about it before we move on to the next speaker? Oh, you're muted. That's again, I need to undo that.
Okay, we good?
Yeah.
Cool, yeah. And, I hear what you and Conrad were saying with some of the spiritual mathematics and the octaves and this and that. And I feel like there's things that there's a more underpinning laying a geometrical pattern, or even just, like, think about just like the whole inception of creation. Like, what came first, like the creation or numbers, or like simultaneously type of thing? So yeah, there's things to consider. And I feel like thinking about Conrad's thing with the malignant masculine type of thing, it's like the masculine is seeking to control. And so with this, feminine free flow energy, what kinds of containers is this, patriarchal, and I say archal with the archonic aspects in mind on a multidimensional level type of thing. So yeah, there's like, when you look into these things, there's so many things to tie in and all. It's just, yeah, I just try to stay on the humble path and realize like, hey, like I'm going to stay a student for possible lifetimes. And like, I might speak with conviction about certain things because I have like a bleeding heart for certain aspects of initiations and experiences that I've actually been through myself. So yeah, there's just more to it than that. And yeah, there's no competition in this race and walking ourselves home towards like the proper source, sound, song, frequency, vibration, sonic resonance, being heaven sent and anchoring that good stuff here, right? So yeah.
Oh yeah, one more thing, folks, you might not know, but Derek almost died trying to make that video. There's that one scene he showed it to me. He fell down when he was out there by the water, and he hurt himself like pretty bad, where he's needing crutches right now. But he'll heal up. I'm sure he's a powerful man. But thanks for doing that hard work and actually breaking a leg to make that happen.
A rock actually broke that he's
standing there by the ocean.
And he fell off a small.
But it's not the first time someone has pushed their body and mind to extreme limits for FUNL conference presentations. So thanks for the hard work and dedication. And we're just, the schedule, we're just like about 10 minutes behind the marked schedule. So it looks like things will be pretty close to what it says there. So I'll let Derek introduce the next speaker, and grab your comfy place to rest and enjoy your beverage or food, and appreciate the knowledge and the love that went into all this.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, such an honor to introduce a fellow brother and One Great Work warrior who is also in the One Great Work Network. He is setting a very high standard for the art of the craft, and being in connections with him and you as well, Chris, on a weekly basis with these meetings we have, and just seeing the progress and process of the amount of dedication this guy puts into everything is just phenomenal. Not to drag on, because I know we're a little bit behind schedule, but yeah, he is a true disciplined disciple and a diligent one at that rate of a scholar and teacher of the ancient traditions, philosophies, etymology, mythology, hermeticism, symbolism, and sciences that apply to natural law, freedom, and morality. He is quite the master technician in a multitude of ways. Yeah, some of this technical jargon I'm quite blown away and impressed by his level of understanding and intellect behind all that, and how he implements it into what he's doing right now, which is a 24/7 live stream truth broadcast. You can catch it on Rumble, Twitch, and Odyssey. Something that y'all ought to see. And he has been asking around, yo, you got that natural law? Because if not, you better find that. And we're pointing back at ourselves with that proper responsibility, and try to do that with proper agility. So without further ado, let's get it rolling. Looking forward to this one. Thank you, Brendan. Chris.
Inspiration, break free, it's taking over me. Break free, inspiration, break free, it's taking over me.
The force that governs it all, natural law.
Inspiration, break free, it's taking over me.
Rise up,
break free, break free.
rise up, rise up.
Inspiration, break free, it's taking over me. Break free, break free.
And above all, freedom.
The causal factor for humanity's continuing loss of freedom is that humanity as a species remains completely ignorant of natural law.
The revolution won't be televised. The media will still be selling lies to get your eyes off the uprising and keep you ill-advised. They felonize the truth and prison those who leak it. demonize who's speaking and confuse those who seek it in the secret. All the psyops they propagate to try to co-opt the way the movement's heading. Yeah, learn how they operate. They lock the gates on those who can see the exit and try to warn the rest. That's the name of the game, and it's playing it's all a test for the soul. On this quest we enroll, every lesson we grow and have an effect on the whole. That's what they keep occulted. The knowledge to keep the sheep closing their pen as they creep and cloaking their nature, scheming, provoking, keep an open eye to your side in the ear to the streets. Beware of the beast out to mark you if you dare to sleep. So I wear my peace with every outfit. I've been made up my mind. If shit goes down, these motherfuckers will never take me alive. All rise.
Visualize infinite individual eyes when they realize the way we make the spiritual rise.
Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up.
Bam! There you have it. I made that outro in the intro, and yeah. These little projects I love to make, and especially for this type of cause, and the conference, and the people involved, and all this stuff. Yeah, it drives me to do great things. You know, it's not my best work, but it's still good. You know. So how'd y'all like that? Was it a shocker? What is it? Was it a shocker for you? Did it get you guys lit? A little motivated, activated, inspired at least? Taking it back to here a little bit. And it's not just the lovey-dovey heart stuff and like, oh, I love this. And no, it's like connecting to your soul right here. Intel I gents, you know. The generative principle, as I mentioned, what are you generating into this world? What are you manifesting, right? Yeah, like the hijacking of the generative principle is all these AI generated things, you know, and they're not all bad, of course, you know, like you have to just take it instance for instance, because I have friends who network, for instance, that are using it and making good work of it, you know, great work sometimes, you know. So that's not the concern if you didn't catch the drift, you know. It's more about the transhumanist takeover of things and the Pandora's box of AI and that kind of stuff. And was alluding the whole time, and not just alluding, but speaking directly to the, and I wish I had more time and to flesh that out, but it's coming. But in the meantime, I've dropped a bunch of links and references for people to study and look into these things, okay? Should have posted those in the description, but they're on that little outro video I made, you know, with the vertical thing there, and like some links and thank you and references on the side. So yeah, again, don't take my word for it. Look into these things within and outside, you know. Anything else? Yeah, I played this on the Sound Path to Freedom because, yeah, Jerry was really inspired by the whole FUNL conference, way aside from just my specific video of it, but just the overall 2-day event that lasted for 16 hours, maybe 18, but yeah. We had the roundtables at the end and all that. We had to cut it off because YouTube only allows 8 hours of streaming time. Although it's funny because I see the other channels doing more. Maybe they have a paid version, which is not really an interest. Never has been. You don't see my channel being monetized or anything like that. SoundPath isn't monetized. You know, Freedom Under Natural Law isn't monetized. It's donation based. And I haven't even asked for anything. I just do it on my own volition. I guess, because I feel compelled to speak about a volume of things that I've learned that people need to fucking know more and more and more about, and have it being repeated like a broken fucking record, just like the bullshit propaganda machine is acting like, you know? Problem is, they got billions backing their shit the fuck up, you know, with professional level production and whatever the, you know what I mean? Imagine what they're gonna do with AI now, right? Fuck. So it's like this. The spiritual war is also a technological one at this point, at this stage in human evolution, right? Because we've built the infrastructure to have certain things be implemented more on the TI side of things. Technical intelligence is what George Kavasilis likes to refer to AI as. And I highly recommend checking that one out. Just do a YouTube search, George Kavasilis with a K. Just use your phonetics and spell it out. With Seth Boza and Nate Max. It's still on Black Earth Productions and some other channels, BitChute. But anyways, you know, I refer to them because they speak better about these things than I do, right? So yeah, voila. My mind isn't as crisp around 3 o'clock in the morning as it could be at other hours of the day, but yeah, there's many ways to be an activated individual, an authentic individual, right? It's all about how you express that with your proper, unique, universal signature, your soul frequency. You have to tap into it and operate from there. Don't compromise with, you know, the bullshit programming and shit like that. So that's all I really got to say on this mix. I'm used to saying that, but yeah, this presentation took a lot out of me. I was really cathartic at times. I wept for a day or two after the fact and all this stuff. And yeah, I was on crutches, like limping to the finish line, literally for the shit. As Leslie mentioned and Chris at the end there, when I was filming part of that, I was like hanging around that little cave I was in, like a half cave, and it was on a cliff, and I was like holding on to this like rock that just like broke off, and I was leaning a little bit, and the weight took me down, and I landed on my legs, but it was a pretty steep fall, and fractured the end of the tibia bone, but I'm fine. Working 7 days a week, and yeah. You maintain overcoming. How do I say this better? When you overcome these things with the right approach, you know, having your state of mind on a positive level frequency more frequently than the doom and gloom stuff, like, oh, like, you know, you fractured your leg and this and that. Oh, you know, like, you can easily fall into the whole victim stuff and, oh, woe is me and this and that, and like, oh, I gotta go. It's like, do I really? Like, I still want to live my life and do my thing. Yes, I do want to have the proper recovery time in the what do you call it? The optimal conditions for things to heal. Yet yeah, it's just falling into that victim mentality and kind of like codependency on hospitals and pharmaceutical, whatever the fuck, painkillers and shit. It's like, never asked for that. I did go to the hospital to get a MRI to actually know what was either broken or fractured. Luckily, nothing was broken, especially no tears on my meniscus or ACL, which is the knee that I fucked up years ago and was re-injured then. But yeah, you persevere, you know. In light of what's possible in regards to like anything dystopian, that ain't shit, you know. So live your life. Don't get hurt, but if you do, try to heal up from it properly and don't lose your proper mind state of it. Yeah, of course we're gonna feel bad about ourselves and feel sorry for ourselves and this and that, but let those be more fleeting thoughts and emotions and stay more tightened to your strengths and your ability and trust in the healing process. There's trillions of cells within us. Talk to them. Let them know it's going to be okay and encourage them to keep doing their great job, maintaining just who we are, this whole biological makeup that we are, you know? It's a beautiful thing when you think about it. And doesn't it rack your fucking nerves when you hear about this transhumanist motherfucking bullshit? These motherfuckers have probably never like been truly connected to themselves. That's why they're looking for this motherfucking bullshit. Fuck that shit. How do we get to these people? How do we show them that there's a better way? And it's not about hacking your mind and reality and this and that. Go back to the fundamental basics, you know? Some people can breeze over those. I wouldn't say anyone should bypass them, because they're always fresh reminders for us, no matter how far we are on our pathworks individually, So yeah, I remind myself on a daily basis. Crickets. I guess that's all. Should I throw in a little extra music thing at the end? I don't know. Nah, we're good. Shit. Yeah, I was looking for something earlier. I couldn't find it, but yeah. Once again, in conclusion, stay human. Keep doing what you're doing. If it's on that proper, aligned, positive tip, but if not, check yourself and recorrect yourself. Like enough said. No one's trying to like flog you to death over just being unaligned to a degree, knowing that you have potential to reconcile things. There's still time to course correct humanity's conundrum of timelines with the new heart-based humanity versus this motherfucking bullshit AI fuckery, artificial intellect. It's soulless, and they're out to snatch our souls or loose our life force energy. It's happened to other planets that had, well, still have, but yeah. not the only ones out here in this galaxy, guys. All right. Check the comment real quick. Oh, yeah, of course. Awesome. Yeah. Did you learn anything from this video, by the way, motherfucker? Get these every fucking live stream. Anyways, that was a comment from Twitch, which I broadcast from, but I know that's more of a gaming forum platform and all that stuff. Yet it provides a free platform to live stream from. So yeah. Got to put yourselves out there way outside of YouTube. You know? Anyways, I'm starting to ramble on a little bit too much, so I'm gonna end you with just that. There's so many things to be inspired about, and digging deep within yourself to be encouraged and empowered from, amidst all the fucking chaos and bullshit out there. You know? Find the time to reacquaint yourself with yourself on a higher level. You know? Stop being pretentious and thinking you've got it figured out and thinking you're like operating from your higher self and all this stuff. When I observe things, you know, you even see people posting stuff on Facebook, like, why are you bragging about this stuff? Like, I'm a highly intuitive person, this and that. Like, well, why do you have fucked up relationships then? Like, what the fuck are you doing? How highly intuitive would someone be, like, actually, that they would magnetize a proper partner in their life, not some motherfucking bullshit. All right, so get the fuck over your shit. All right, because that's not all that authentic to me. Sometimes, you know, it's just saying some stuff, and like, normally people that are living this stuff are not, you know, speaking about it, especially to that level and whatever the fuck, you know. It's just stupid social media effect stuff. So yeah, sometimes you got to just stay in your lane, do your thing. Even if a lot of this stuff we're doing is thankless work, so be it. Is it not the right thing to do, though? We got to ask ourselves that. So yeah, humanity rising, like the phoenix from the fucking ashes. Yeah, it's like my natural fucking state. Especially with fucking Saturn in the 29th degree. Learning the hard ways and having to get burnt the fuck up and rise again, rise again, rise again, you know? Keep at it, my friend, because this life is far from over. So I bid you farewell and all the best on your life journey. May our paths cross again, my friend, if it's fruitful, you know? Speaking of paths, you know about that Sound Path to Freedom, right? Going down August 29th for opening ceremony type of meditative thing to get things going. Rolling into Labor Day weekend, August 30th and the 31st. We got a special lineup going on. Soundpath.org is the website to check things out. And I'll see you soon, without a doubt. Next watch party coming up Sunday, I believe. So, yeah. Make note of that and take care. Like that generative principle care that's been lost. We got to retrieve it and beam it everywhere. So, yeah. Speaking of lost principle, peace to St. John, who kind of uses that handle. So, yeah, he's part of the Sound Path crew. So, yeah, much respects to him and much respects to you for tuning in. So,